Yeah, so this time last week, I spoke to Flynn Goward, who was very excited about England versus Germany, the prospect of having a few pints, all of which happened. And here he is again a week later, excited by the prospect of England versus Denmark, a few pints, and another rowdy pub maybe for the final if England get there against Italy or Spain. I can't but hide my envy over in Ireland as my compatriots, so to speak, Jack Grealish, Declan Rice, march all the way to Euro 2020 glory. This is the trader chat that you've been waiting for with Johnny Ward and Flynn Goward. We also obviously have Star Sports Greyhound Derby, which will conclude at the weekend. A bit of a controversial racing weekend in terms of photo finishes, so on and so forth. And Wimbledon. Flynn, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I've just about recovered from the England-Germany game and then obviously watched the one at the weekend. When we do talk about the pub quickly, I mean, it was the rowdiest place I've been to in a long, long time. Obviously, coming out of COVID here, I can't say the restrictions were too strict, to be honest. I mean, I was completely thrown around the pub. I actually went to get my COVID jab done, my first one that morning, and obviously I've got it right at the top of the arm, and somebody has actually kind of clotheslined me from across the pub right into the COVID jab. It wasn't great, but in terms of an evening, what a fantastic evening. The betting for the Euros, we are now obviously favourites. We were beforehand, but we are still favourites. England are 6-4, Italy of 23-10. We are top price Italy, top industry, best price Italy. So we want to lay Italy. We obviously don't think that they're going to get the job done against Spain. So we want to lay Italy at 23-10. Spain are 11-4 and Denmark are 9-1. We've got all the usual specials up. Player of the tournament, Sterling's now favoured there at 7-2, and then with 15-2 bar. Kane's in there at 9-1. Could be a bit of a value play, Kane, if he really does get those goal scoring boots on in the next game, and then if we get through to the final.
Yeah, absolutely. He's true to his word in that he said he'd come good towards the end of the competition, which I think a lot of people were skeptical about, considering his injuries, issues, kind of his ankle and so forth got into it. I think he's been absolutely fantastic in the last sort of 2 or 3 games. But how is the book looking? I mean, what was your position beforehand? Because like when France and I guess to a lesser extent Germany and the Netherlands went out, did this? I mean, you've still 3 teams, certainly 2 teams that would have been popular there.
France were the biggest losers for us, but we actually laid a decent bet on Belgium as well, and that was in play during their game where they eventually went out. So France and Belgium going out, they were the biggest losers. So them going out was absolutely fantastic for the anti-post book. Delighted to see them get knocked out, not just for England, but for the book as well.
Yeah.
Italy would be a small loser for us. They would be the only loser left in the anti-post book. We did a trading chat before the tournament, and I said that Italy were proving pretty popular. So they would be a small loser, and the field wins. Spain, we would kind of cop the lot. Spain would be a fantastic result. They've been really unpopular with the punters in the anti-post market. England would be very, very small winners, and Denmark would be a decent winner. But then, like I said, Spain would be the ones that would get us the lot. We've obviously got both semi-finals priced up on side, but we've got a huge amount of specials, as I was just mentioning. Straight forecast up on side too. England first and Italy second is favourite there at 130. Highest scoring team, Spain the favourites there at 8-11, obviously having the goals in the bank already. Italy second in at 6-4 and 10 bar. We've got top England goal scoring. That's had a right shake up with Kane coming into a bit of form. 2-5 Kane, 7-4 Sterling, and 33-1 bar there. We've got the England stage of elimination, semi-final runner-up winner. We've got loads of different specials we get stuck into there on the site, and then we've obviously just got the games as well up on site, where obviously we've got the game tomorrow, Italy versus Spain, and then we've got England versus Denmark on Wednesday. So all eyes will be peeled for that. And we've also got some special some offers going on. We've got the yes/no competition
to win a monkey.
To win a monkey, free to enter, existing accounts only. And obviously, if you do want to enter, just open an account and then you can enter. To win £500, if you get 8 or more. The winner will get a monkey free bet, and if you get 8 or more right, then you'll get a £20 and 21 pence free bet. Just some of the questions which are in there: will England win in 90 minutes? Will Harry Kane score? Will there be a goal after the 70th minute in 90 minutes, obviously? So plenty of kind of 50-50 questions to get stuck into there. That's for the England-Denmark game. If you go to the website on the app, along the right-hand side, you'll be able to click through onto that. So that's free to enter. Do definitely get involved in that. We had a really good uptake in it last week. We've also still got the 2 good offer going on. So if your team does go 2 goals up, then that'll be settled as a winner. And we've got a very important special here tomorrow. I can't tell you about that yet because the graphics aren't quite there, but do keep an eye out for the special. That'll be for the England-Denmark game. That'll be for new accounts. So do just keep an eye out for that one. That'll definitely be something that you'll be wanting to get involved to, and you'll definitely be nicking a fair bit of value if you do go for that offer anyway.
Beautiful. Yeah, football could well be coming home. Where is the dog derby going to go, though? Star Sports Greyhound Derby down to the final, and it's actually 9-4 each of two between Ballymac for Fair One and Dearjet Sydney, who is also 9-4. This is an interesting book because apart from the RAG 25s, you've got basically anything could win it.
Yeah, exactly. So we have the 6 finalists now, and we've actually had the draw today as well. So go onto the content site to check that one out. Ballymac Fairone, like I said, 9-4 favourite alongside Dearjet Sydney, 9-2 new in session. Ballymac Wild 11-2 along with Fawn Falcon, and Kalara Lion is the RAG at 25-1. You can't really rule any of them out. It's a really, really open derby this year. We're in great shape in terms of the anti-post book, mainly helped by the fact that Not the Bowl Sid was knocked out in the semi-finals. He came fourth. He was the second worst loser in the book, so getting him out was a fantastic result.
What a sickener if you're on. I hate when you're on a dog. This has happened to me before. You're on a dog anti-post, shortens, and then he finishes fourth in the semi.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't quite there, but I was close. I Beach Avenue. I bet Beach. I think he came fifth in his semi. So it really, really tough to take. But obviously, we obviously move on. We only
you
have
in
one
Toaster Saturday night?
I shall be there. I shall
Beautiful.
be there. The first time I've actually graced it whilst there's racing on this year. We're doing 4 pitches, so we'll have one in each of the marquees. We'll have one of the main pitches and one in between the grandstands. So plenty of Star Sports presence there. All the Star Sports faces will be there. They'll be absolutely littered with them.
Littered with big personalities.
Well, yeah, you think so. So do come and say hello to us. Come and say hello to Ben on the main pitch. Do get down to Toaster and just come and have a bet with us. It'd be great to see you all out there. We've only got one dog that we need to get beat in the anti-post book now to make it a winning one, and that is new in session. That is the only loser in the anti-post book now. So we are around 5 on to cop the money in the anti-post book, as obviously we're looking at about 9-2 new in session there. So we just need to get him beat for the anti-post book to win, and then it'll be a winning Toaster for us this year. We've also got a few specials on site, and we've also got the pipped offer on the dogs as well, so do check that out. But loads of specials, and we've also got the supporting races up for Toaster on Saturday as well. So not just the derby, we've got the supporting ones up, so do take a look at that.
So I was listening to one of the interviews with Michael Tabor after the Eclipse, in which, and these are sometimes this sort of information might filter through from your sources about Aidan O'Brien talking about a horse of his on a big day. It's very helpful if it's like a Saturday, something like the Eclipse. You get words to the effect, Aidan can't see this horse being beaten, or it's a point and shoot job, or this will win. And Michael Tabor told everyone this after the Eclipse on Saturday when he was sent off an even money favourite. And after being niggled along briefly, bang.
Yeah.
How much did you lay on this superstar of 2021?
Wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. He was a clear loser in the book and the only loser, but I thought it was going to be some lumps coming in for him, but there wasn't kind of huge kind of money, but he was a solid loser. Some Marks Basilica, and like I said, Johnny, he did look in trouble for a stride or two, didn't he? He had to be niggled along. It did look like Mishriff probably had the race at his mercy, but I just don't know whether him and Dave ran their races in the end, to be honest with you. But he was still really impressive, some Marks Basilica nonetheless, winning going away. But like I said, we laid plenty of evens. He was by far the most popular horse in the race. Now 11-2 for the King George. I'm not sure whether he's going to go up to the 1.5 miles or not. Take on the other horses, not too sure. 4-1 for the Sussex Stakes, 6-5 for the Jugmont, and 6-5 for the Jugmont, and 6-1 for the Arc de Triomphe. So I'm not sure where he's going to go for Ballydor, but Ballydor have a very strong hand in the Arc de Triomphe. They filled the first 3 in the market, I believe. I will just get the Arc de Triomphe market up just while we're here talking about St Mark's Basilica. So ahead of the market, you've got Love there at 5-1, you've got Snowfall at 5-1, you've got St Mark's Basilica at 6-1.
Amazing, isn't it? Like Aidan could just run this race and have the first 4.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the domination. I mean, the Forfins, well, it's not British because it's David Mercier, but it's a 7-1 with 149 British owned by Christopher Wright. So it is really ours to win in terms of the Arc this year, but I'm not sure where he's going to go next, but he does have a strong hand in a lot of the kind of big races that we'll see throughout the rest of the flat season. Another feature from Saturday was the Lancashire Oaks. Just to really quickly touch on that, the favourite and the winner, Alpinista, was proving difficult to lay. Actually, it was a decent result in the book for us in the Lancashire Oaks, so quite different to the Eclipse. And then just one more race I want to talk about from the weekend was the Group 1 in Saint-Cloud, and this is Broome all over again.
He just sweeps on by.
Yeah, literally. A fantastic ride from Colin Keane. What do you think about Colin Keane and the Ballydor job, Johnny? I know I'm asking you on the hop here, but do you think that he's going to end up with the #1 role, or do you think it's Ryan Moore's for the foreseeable?
I'd be inclined to think Colin Keane will probably get it. And I don't think Ger Lyons will stand in his way. And what's been interesting this year as well is the amount of rides he's gotten for Derma Weld as well. So he's just he's kind of, I think he, as a jockey as well, he just gets it wrong so rarely, but he actually doesn't ride in that many Group 1 races because of the position he's in up until this kind of link with Ballydoyle. But I think, in the sense of he's, living in Ireland and so forth, availability there, I think it will happen in the next few years. I know it was almost expected to happen before now, and it hasn't. Seamie Heffernan is, what is he now, 48 or so? I actually spoke to him the other day. He's had a bit of a suspension, so he's enjoying a bit of time off, and he'll still be a vital part of it. But Colin, at his age, he's just such a good rider as well, and he's brilliant attitude. He's very good with owners, but also he does off the track. He seems to be in perfect kind of nick. He's just, you could set your watch by him. He ticks every box effectively. I think it will happen in the next year or two. Yeah.
Where do you think Ryan goes from there? I mean, obviously we're speaking very hypothetically, but after the Ballydor job, where do you go after that? Do you just pick up the spares? Do you go to another? Do you wait for Frankie to go and then go to Gosden? I'm not really sure where he.
I'm not sure either. I don't think his reputation is what it was 2 or 3 years ago either. And just it's strange that he's gone from being almost like, without any kind of criticism or even almost flaws, to probably just riding a few kind of races at the top level that you wouldn't necessarily be that happy with. And there's no rumor that Aidan O'Brien isn't happy with him, but I think his reputation with punters has definitely gone backwards.
Yeah, completely. He certainly doesn't seem the force of old, especially in perception, like he used to. A lot of people choose to go through the card with Ryan Moore horses, and they just don't tend to do it anymore, do they? So, especially we don't tend to see much of it anymore. So it'll be an interesting one to see whether he does get that kind of job in the near future, Colin Keane. But he did completely steal the race on the front with Broome. He just seems like a hard horse to pass. He's really game, isn't he? Really hard to pass.
Ironically, he'd ridden the horse that rode him to sleep in the Curragh the time before, for Noel Meade, before he ran at Ascot. He rode him for one burst of pace. That was Noel Meade's first Group 1 winner, and Colin Keane knew Broome inside out, and he rode him exactly as he should have, basically, in France.
Yeah, exactly. But
what about this photo finish, though?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was an absolute farce of an opening race at Sandown. Eventually settled as a dead heat. I've seen the explanation behind it. It was because they had a faulty mirror on the far side, and they saw that from the third and fourth horses. So because they saw that it was a faulty mirror, they couldn't use that image, and they decided that the image they did have, they couldn't categorically see that that Hurricane Ivor was separated from the horse that did eventually, dead heated. But should have finished second. I mean, terrible.
Isn't it extraordinary though that, like, if you have a horse race that takes place over the course of, say, 3 miles or whatever, after 3 miles we don't have the technology to split 2 horses? It is quite astonishing.
It's completely unbelievable. The ironic thing was, I was speaking to someone in the office during the actual day. I mean, it's chaos in a trading room when this happens. Anyone that's worked in a trading room will know that. When you've got a stewards inquiry where you think one's going to be thrown out or the results will be changed, it's an absolute nightmare. Like, do you not settle the race? Like, how do you approach it, etc., etc. But what we were talking about was in the same race a couple of years ago, they called the wrong result again.
That's right.
It was the exact same race. It wasn't even just like another race at Sandown. It was the exact same race, the opener on the Eclipse card. So Sandown seems to be getting a name for themselves. They need to sort it out. The BHA need to kind of step in and sort it out, really. I saw some people tweeting about the way that they do it in cycling and the way that they do the photo finishes in cycling. It just needs to be something similar to that. It was an absolute farce. And we actually laid a few reverse forecasts on those two as well. Which is an absolute nightmare, obviously, because you end up paying out on both sides because they both cop. So you end up with a double winning straight forecast if you did the reverse forecast on 2 dead heat runners. So it was an absolute nightmare for us, that race. But to be honest, it's more of a nightmare for the sport, just in terms of perception. We just can't be having that going on in this day and age. It's just not good enough. But that was probably racing for the weekend. It was a decent weekend overall. And I guess that we probably just want to get on to talk a bit of tennis now, because we've got Wimbledon unfolding as we speak.
Indeed we do, which I've kind of been watching from afar. Djokovic is 2s on, looking at it here to cop the lot. In the men's edition with the old boy Federer 7-1.
He is indeed. So Medvedev 11-2 second in, Federer 7-1 there, and then with 15-2 bar, that's Berrettini. So looking a little bit uncompetitive on the actual men's side of the draw, but on the women's side, it's looking much more competitive. You're 5-2 the field there, started 6th the field before the tournament. Barty 5-2, Sabalenka, she's just gone through 7-2. Jabeur 5-1. Golf is 8-1, and we're 9-1 bar there. One person just to talk about in there is Emma Raducanu.
The new British starlet.
Unbelievable. I mean, some of the shots that she was hitting when she last played was fantastic. But she's actually been backed with us as well. I mean, kind of unsurprisingly, but unfortunately, we've actually laid the big prices. So small bits of 150-1 a few days ago before she played, and then bits of 80, and she's now 16-1 after her magic performance the other day. She plays today at 5 o'clock. By the time this goes out, she might have already won or gone out. But it's near enough Pickham who she plays today. I'm looking at the odds here. She's 20-21. And then who she's playing is 4-5, so almost Pickham. She is slight rag. So really interesting to see how that goes. On the men's, we've had a few bets on Felix Auger-Aliassime at 66 and 50-1 earlier in the week. Now 20-1 chance, and we still have the 2 sets ahead offer. So if your player does go 2 sets up, whatever the outcome, will settle you out as a winner. So we've got that offer. So we've got the 2 good on the football, and then we've got the 2 sets ahead in the tennis. So we've got loads of kind of offers going on, loads to look forward to this week. We've got the Greyhound Derby final of the weekend. We just had the draw. Check that out. We've got all the Euros, all the markets for the Euros. Keep an eye out for the special offer, new customer offer that's going to drop tomorrow. We've got the yes/no competition to get involved in the Euros. We've got loads going on, Johnny. I just can't wait to get going this week.
And a top price Italy at 23-10. I'm actually with Star Sports now. I would take Italy on. I don't think there's any formality to beat Spain. But I think England will actually win this tournament, or certainly I think they're the most likely winner. And in which case, we'll have to celebrate it accordingly, I suppose. Even though I just can't watch Declan Rice in an England jersey. It's not easy.
Why not? Oh, Irish. I've got you.
Oh my God, that was Trader Chat. You just let yourself down there, Flynn. Yeah, to Grealish I can kind of give, because he was always going to switch. Declan Rice becoming such a fulcrum in that England team as well.
You sound quite bitter, don't you? Really?
I am. It's also because we're very, very crap for the last few years. But in any event, it is what it is. That was Trader Chat. Flynn, thanks as ever.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, check out the website for the special offers and the competitions, and we'll be back after the Derby next week.